Hello and welcome to another episode of Weekly Waypoint. Today we are doing something a little bit different. We are playing Unreal Championship 2, and you may be familiar with this channel and this series. You may be like, hey, there's a whole bunch of Unreal Tournament stuff, but you've never done Unreal Championship. Well, that's because my first ever time playing Unreal Championship 2 was 2 days ago. I did a stream. If you want to see my very first reaction to me discovering the gameplay of Unreal Championship 2 for the first time, then that's the stream to go and check out. There's the VOD over on my live channel, which you can get to on my main channel in the little banner. There's a little link. But yeah, this is Instagib mode. The main gameplay mode is weird. It's got like melee, it's got third person, it's got like champion abilities, like Quake Champions before Quake Champions, right? You start off weapon loadouts, stuff like that. So if you want my reaction to all of those kinds of things, then you can find that over at that live stream VOD I mentioned. But at the end of the day, I decided I just wanted to play some Instagib because that's my favourite way to play these Unreal games, and it cuts out all the other faff. You can cut out most of the differences. There's a lot of ways to edit that with mutators. Like, you don't have to worry about the abilities and the different like stats and the third person and the melee and stuff like that, but you do still have loadouts. But yeah, I've been meaning to download Unreal Championship 2 and give it a try since I first got my Xbox Series S and saw that it was on the store for like £8. So my first actual purchase was Unreal Tournament 3 because I own that on PC and PS3, and I was like, you know what, I got some spare Microsoft reward points, use that on buying that and get some Xbox achievements. But the frame rate in the 360 version of the game, oh boy, that's not a good frame rate. We are talking 20 frames a second or less. So I refunded that and thought I should probably get Unreal Championship 2 instead. It's an original Xbox game, so it doesn't have achievements, but you know what it does have? Unreal Championship 2 gameplay. And while I knew this game existed for a while, I never really looked into it. So yeah, this is me playing a different version of Unreal Tournament. What do I think about it? It's okay. It will be appearing in future weekly waypoints here and there, but it will probably always be in Skip because I respect that it's different with the loadout system and everything, but I don't know, I think it's not as good as Unreal Tournament. It's still good, it's just not as good. You may have caught the fact that I said I streamed it the other day. I did. Of course, I'm always on again, off again streaming. Sometimes I go a year without streaming, sometimes I stream every day of the week. But yeah, I kind of wanted to stream more kind of just like multiplayer games and like rounds of stuff instead of trying to do a big live stream series like I was going to do with the Assassin's Creed stuff. For that kind of thing, I do want to lean more into the traditional Let's Play style of things. I've noticed whenever I upload a video with a blue border around it, it gets more clicks than the rest of my videos, so I should take the hint and make more Let's Plays sometime soon, right? I think the problem with shenanigans styles, which I'm not going to stop doing by the way, but the problem with like adventures in videos and shenanigans style videos is it's only good for people who already are familiar with the content, and that's a much bigger niche than people who, you know, just want to jump in and see someone play a game that they might not be familiar with, or just like it's a different style of commentary as well. It's more reactive, like here's the thing that's happening, haha, here's the next thing that's happening, whoa that's crazy, here's the next thing that's happening, why isn't this working, as opposed to just like, hey, I'm doing a video, blah 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 blah. I know how to make videos, right? I know how that works. So yeah, look out for more Let's Plays at some point soon. Also, more Doctor Who content. Did you notice I had a very Doctor Who fixation week? Sentences are hard today. I had a week of hyperfixating on Doctor Who since they announced that David Tennant's coming back. Did a whole video speculating as to why David Tennant's coming back with Catherine Tate as well. And then I did a whole video where I watched or I didn't watch in the video, but I was talking about watching An Unearthly Child, the very first episode of Doctor Who from 1963. That's quite a few years ago, so it's very interesting, and I have a whole video about it, and it's not going to stop there. I'm going to do thoughts per episode on old Doctor Who stories for as long as I can stomach them. Got the BritBox going and everything. I'll probably continue that later today, actually, as of the time of recording. I'll probably do Dalek today. Very excited to see the origin of the Daleks. But yeah, it's just like, it's crazy. Doctor Who is one of those things where I could easily make a what Doctor Who means to me video, right? Like, it's one of those things that's constantly like in and out of my life, but like one of my kind of fixations that I constantly return to that's not an actual video game for once. I mean, there are Doctor Who video games, technically. People made them. and they are interactive. Oh my god, do you remember the old fucking Doctor Who Flash games from 2007? Oh my god, that was a blast from the past. They would be all like educational as well, so you could play them in school. Oh no, they were so bad. But yeah, my kind of original idea was just going to be do a thoughts per episode on modern Doctor Who, and I still want to do that, but I think I'm going to do that after Classic Who, and I say that very hesitantly because there's like 24 seasons of Classic Who or something insane, and they're not 12 episode seasons, they're like 40 episode seasons, although lucky for me some of them are missing, they're lost to time. The BBC, after Doctor Who ended around the 7th Doctor era, they kind of just went, oh, nobody's ever gonna want to broadcast these old fucking episodes again, they're all black and white, and they just got rid of them. Some have obviously been found, but not all. I know they're doing a kind of reconstruction with some of the episodes being animated as well. I think the first few stories in Patrick Troughton's era seem to be available on BritBox as animated adventures, so that's going to be a weird little bit of whiplash for me, going from black and white to suddenly full animation, but I really do like that they're doing that, and I'm excited to get there and see how the first regeneration is handled. If you're excited about that too, join me, watch it along with me if you like, or just listen to the thoughts per episode videos I put out about it. I'm not doing it in any kind of like weekly pace, I'm just going to be kind of putting them up as I go, like scheduling them for the next day at a decent time, like 6 PM or something. I think it's interesting to have this perspective as someone who grew up with New Who, like has been a fan, has watched them pretty much, in fact I think without fail has watched them on the day of their first broadcast, not necessarily live, but like, you know, maybe an hour later when they're available on iPlayer or something like that. To have that perspective going back from 2022 and looking at, you know, episodes from 1963 and how it used to be and what's changed, what's been retconned, what clearly wasn't entirely thought through, like, because you don't think through 60 years of lore when you write one episode of a TV program, duh. Like, I'm excited to hear, when does the word Time Lord first... That's 2 words, Christian. When does the name Time Lord first appear in the series? Because it wasn't an earthly child, I can tell you that. Does regeneration get mentioned before William Hartnell leaves? Or does he just leave and then they kind of have to write around him leaving? Anyway, I won't get too far into all of that because that is its own series, but if you're interested in that, go and look at that. I will not be doing all 28 seasons back to back, by the way. I will probably take many breaks. The beautiful thing about classic Doctor Who is that the stories come in like somewhere between 4 to 6 parts from what I can tell, 20-minute parts, and therefore I can just kind of like do them a story at a time instead of having to worry about doing an entire season in one video, which always felt like a bit of a stretch. Well, I mean, you know, I did like half of a season in a video or whatever, right, with Buffy? I don't remember anymore. Anyway, what have I been playing this week? I think I talked about Omno last week because I recorded late last week, so it was really only about 4 days ago. This kind of feels weird if I'm being perfectly honest. I thought I would continue down the route of checking out these short little games that I can actually perfect and feel good about myself and have a nice day with, you know. So I checked out Hue, which is a puzzle platformer to do with colours, which is currently available for Xbox Live Gold members. And, my relationship with that game ended quite suddenly. And if you're curious as to why, go to my Kritigri Shorts channel. If I remember, I will put a link in the description to the video. Now, I might go back to it, I don't know. I just kind of got a bit fed up because I died in the middle of a puzzle. It made me start over, and it's a bit tedious to pull all the boxes around and stuff. But, you know, it's nice big chunks of gamer score, and I like games that do that, you know. As long as they're actual games and not just play this game to get a gamer score, which definitely exists out there these days. I'm still slowly paying through Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Missed out the L on playing, but we'll brush past it. I was listening to the soundtrack on my way to work this morning. It is absolutely immense. Is that a compliment? I think it is. Is that what the kids say these days? I don't know why my old man is American, but there you go. Okay, in non-gaming related news, I've been meaning to bring this up for weeks, but I keep forgetting to. There is an audio drama. That's right, I'm back on my audio bullshit again, but hear me out. There is an audio drama on Spotify. Well, they call it a podcast. It's an audio drama called Batman Unburied, and it is legitimately, so far, one of the best Batman stories I've ever experienced. I never know what to say. Like, I can't say heard because obviously it's the only Batman story I've ever heard, right? But it's a really interesting, unique twist on Batman, and you should go and listen to it because it's free and it's great and you don't have to give Spotify money to listen to it, and we're not going to throw ads in the middle of it either, so there you go do that. I mean, it dethroned Joey McHateCrimes or whatever his name is from the top of the podcast playlist, so there's another reason to like it. Fun fact, this episode of A Weekly Waypoint originally had an extra 5-minute match that wasn't Instagib at the start of the video, but I cut it just now, including a whole bunch of conversation about it, because I thought, you know what, maybe these weekly waypoints were better in the 12-minute mark than they were in the 18-minute mark. I'm already kind of running out of things to talk about. Little peek behind the curtain there. I was also going to try and get the PlayStation 2 emulator up and running because I'm currently watching a Ratchet & Clank retrospective series, and they offhandedly happen to mention that it's especially difficult to emulate. And given that it's the only PC... I can't fucking talk today, I'm leaving that in. Given that it's the only PS2 game that I have tried to emulate, I thought, hey, maybe I should try and emulate some other PS2 games. I might have an easier time of it. But oh my god, it was just so much faff trying to set it up. I needed to start from scratch, and I lost patience. So I thought, hey, Unreal Championship 2 is still a unique thing to record for the weekly waypoint, so there's this. I'm not done really with my retro game series. There's probably a few more PS1 racing games I can dig out for the retro racing series, but if I'm being honest, we kind of need to move on to the PS2. The other thing to do would just to be buy those goddamn component cables and that new controller. It's really not that difficult of a solution. But I'm kind of trying to save up for this Oculus Quest next month, maybe, depending on what my pay slip looks like. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Weekly Waypoint. If you enjoyed it, maybe leave a like if you liked it, and maybe subscribe if you want to see more. That's something I'm trying to do at the end of my videos now too. And it's annoying because I've always hated the idea of saying that at the end of those videos. I've held off doing it for years for that fact. But the first video I did that on, I looked at the analytics, and thank you very much, person who did this. If you're watching, I got a like and a subscribe out of it. I'm like, that's why people do it. I'm stubborn about things for stupid reasons, and I hinder my own progress. So yeah, I guess that's what self-sabotage looks like. But no, please feel free to do those things. It really, really helps. And I will learn to ask with a little bit more grace as I go on in the future. Oh my god, this video hasn't ended yet? Jeez, hurry up and end already. There we go. I was gonna say, I thought I was running out of footage, but it was still gameplay. I was flapping. I was, oh no.